3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
It is finally here, the final week of the NFL Super Bowl Sunday. Let's get started. Here is your final playoff picture. Two more teams remain. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be an exciting, immense matchup. I cannot wait. No one can predict what's going to happen. So here we have it. Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Kansas City Chiefs striving to make history for the three-peat. Philadelphia Eagles full of vengeance after Super Bowl 57, where that late controversial call pretty much decided the game and the Chiefs hit almost a walk-off field goal to win it. So who do you have? I'm going to do a little bit of analysis and I'll give you my picks. There's so many stats that can shape your narrative, whichever side you sit on in this insane matchup. There's so many stats that you can use to back at your point, and there's so many stats that can disprove you or can prove why you're wrong. So basically whatever makes you feel comfortable or whatever you think helps your decision, run with it. For example, there are only two teams that have won not wearing white jerseys in recent years. That is the Chiefs and the Eagles, believe it or not. Aside from that, it's almost always team in white, aka the away team, that wins, and the NFL alternates it every year. This year the AFC is the away team, so the Chiefs will be wearing white, which, if you're a superstitious person, goes in their favor. On the flip side, since 2003 there have been 8 teams that have gone as a 1 seed to the Super Bowl. Any team with a first round bye since 2003 has failed to win the Super Bowl. It is 0-8, so that is a huge factor in the Eagles' favor. Usually the number 1 seed has a really good regular season, and as you saw with the Lions, they'll start to fall off or it just won't work because it's the NFL. It can be pretty unpredictable. Unsurprisingly enough, the number 1 seed often doesn't win the Super Bowl. So that's the superstitious aspect. If you want to go a little deeper, well, let's look at the matchups. We have probably the best roster in the NFL, the most expensive roster in the NFL. Saquon, top 3 running back, maybe top 2 behind the best offensive line, against a Chiefs team that in the playoffs has struggled to stop the run. So they have a really good defensive coordinator, possibly the best all time in Spagnuolo. And how will he be able to handle Saquon, handle Jalen Hurts, who's been a lot healthier, handle his movement outside the pocket? Will he blitz a lot? It's going to be a very interesting matchup there. That would probably be the decisive matchup in the game, as I told you. The defense typically is what wins championships, especially when it comes to the Chiefs. Mahomes will do his thing, but the defense is what keeps him in the game and gives him a chance in the fourth quarter. Typical narratives is that you expect the Chiefs to go behind, as they have in previous Super Bowls. They'll probably have a double-digit deficit where they have to climb back. But against this Eagles team, that is no easy feat. When they take a lead, as they often do, they hand the ball to Saquon and you just don't get a chance to get back in the game. In the divisional round, the LA Rams did have a chance, and it's a lot closer than the Eagles usually let it get. If you leave it at 1 score late in the game, there's no way you're stopping the Chiefs. Mahomes is perfect in 1-score games in the playoffs. Anytime he has a clutch moment on the ball in his hands, he does not lose, whether it's to tie it, to score a touchdown. He just gets the job done and gets his team over the line. Especially late in the game, look for the refs to have something to say. I hate to say it, but I'm sure that they will make a controversial call at one point or another. On the other side of the ball, we have a really good passing secondary. However, Mahomes in his career has torn apart Vic Fangio defenses. So I know that he has a much better defense now in terms of the personnel. But Mahomes and Andy Reid just find a way to exploit Vic Fangio. Will that continue? Will that stop here? I guess we'll find out. Both teams have been really good in terms of turnovers recently, so I think that should be a fair factor. However, the Eagles have been punching the ball out like crazy in the playoffs. Can that continue? Or can the Chiefs be pretty strong and disciplined with the ball? They typically are. They don't make much mistakes. I know that there was a fumble in the last game, but it didn't end up hurting them, so let's see if that continues. And here are my picks. In this instance, I don't really think there are too much stats that you can rely on. I mean, I told you stats can go either way. You can use it to suit your narrative however you want. But in a game this close, this tight, I think you have to go with your gut feeling. One team is chasing history. One team simply wants revenge and to prove that they can do it, get to the top step. I personally just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I think the Eagles will need to run away with it and get this huge total that Mahomes just can't climb out of. But I think the Chiefs will go behind, stay just close enough, and then crawl their way back to a late one-score game. If you're a betting person, bet the Eagles early, bet the first half, because the Chiefs are going to have you very nervous, but I think they do find a way to claw it back. The spread is minus 1.5. As an underdog or a spread less than 3 as a favorite, Mahomes is 8-2 against the spread, and I think that continues. In terms of the total, well, when they played in Super Bowl 57, this was a huge total. It went easily over 38, 35. I think that continues here. I don't think it's as high, but I think both teams surpass 24 points, which will be enough to get the total. And one team wins it either with a late field goal or kneel downs because the other team just couldn't get the job done. But I do think it remains a one-score game. And whenever that's the case, you got to go with Kansas City. They're always the team to get the job done. So I'm thinking a 27-24 or maybe a 28-24 game at the end, which would go over the total. So we're on a bit of a hot streak. The TD parlay has been hitting in recent weeks. Why not continue it? We have Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. I expect the Eagles to score 2, maybe 3 touchdowns. Anything inside the 5, Jalen Hurts usually runs it in with a sneak. Or give it to Saquon. He scored in almost every game this season. Why not continue it? I just think once one quarterback doesn't hog the ball, it should be okay. However, in the NFC title game, both had 2+ touchdowns, so I don't see any issue there either. I think both get in the end zone. And on the other side of it, Mahomes relies on his favorite target, Travis Kelce, to get the job done. Run game hasn't been too strong, but I do expect Kareem Hunt to score 1 touchdown. However, Travis Kelce, he shows up in the big games. Him and Mahomes are the best duo in NFL history in the postseason, and I think that continues. Travis Kelce looking to get another Super Bowl touchdown as they chase greatness. You have also some pretty inflated odds due to the betting market, so this is going to be a pretty sweet payout if all 3 hit, as I expected to do. Get on it, let me know if you follow. Welcome to the prop store. Get all your props in one place. The Super Bowl market is such an inflated betting market. So many people that don't usually bet come and jump on these props just for the fun of it. It's going to be a party. They're going to be enjoying the game, and they just want a little added adrenaline. So they go and bet. They don't know much about betting, but it inflates the market. It gives good odds. So while you're enjoying the game, don't miss out on the opportunity to, get your money up. So here are my 4 favorite props. I mean, there's so many more props that I like that I haven't included here, but here are my 4 favorite. Gonna go with Patrick Mahomes over 5.5 rushing attempts. This is cash in the last 2 games in the playoffs. Let's keep it rolling. He loves to take charges in the playoffs, and he usually puts his body on the line. There's also the possibility that if the Chiefs are winning late on, that he'll take 3 kneels, which will almost surely cash this bet. Outside of that, in the playoffs, you know that he doesn't like to do it in the regular season to protect his body, but his awareness in terms of where the defenders are, where the sideline is, he'll always be able to do just enough without getting injured, using his legs to get the team over the line. He also scored 2 rushing touchdowns in that championship game. I don't see how this doesn't continue, how this doesn't hit. Continuing, we have Jalen Hurts under 18.5 pass completions. Championship game, which was a huge total of 55 points for the Eagles. That is not usual, that is not normal, and I don't think that continues. The championship game was only the 2nd game since week 3 that Hurts completed more than 18.5 passing attempts, and I think that was mainly just to prove all the haters wrong, get the media to stop talking about how they rely on Saquon, how Hurts can't get the job done. So I think that comes down a bit more. It's going to be a bit of a cagey game, relying on Saquon to pound the rock, and especially if they take the lead, as I expect they will, I don't see how he gets over this total. So let's see if he puts the ball in Saquon's hands, and let's let this bet hit. Next bet we have is Patrick Mahomes under 1 interception. We know anything can happen. A ball can be deflected, a ball can be tipped up. It's the Super Bowl, it's possible. However, since the regular season loss to the Bills, Mahomes has thrown 0 interceptions, 8 straight games. He's only thrown 5 interceptions in 20 playoff games, and that's including 1 in his last 9 games over the past 3 years. He's very disciplined with the ball. I know he did have a fumble recently, but in terms of when it's in the air, he's very accurate, very direct. He doesn't throw it into difficult scenarios. That might change late in the game if he's chasing it, but usually he'll rather throw it away, reset, go again, than just heaving up a ball that has no chance and is a very dangerous pass. I know that there's the opportunity for fumbles, as the Eagles love to punch the ball out. They tackle aggressively and violently. However, in terms of interceptions, I don't see Mahomes throwing an interception in this game that will keep the Chiefs involved, and I think this bet is pretty safe. Our last prop is Cooper DeJean over 4.5 tackles and assists. Eagles have played nickel majority of the time. DeJean will likely be matched up with Travis Kelce, and that's Mahomes' favorite target. In big games, the quarterback throws to their favorite target. Look for Mahomes to go after Kelce quite often. He'll probably get 6, 7, maybe 8 receptions, and DeJean is probably going to be present for most of them. Also, if Mahomes decides to use his legs and get outside the pocket, along with Zach Bond, DeJean will probably be one of the main people that are first to get to Patrick Mahomes if he gets into the second level. And even the run game, Eagles are very good in their run game, but that relies a lot on their linebackers as well as their defensive front. So I think there's so many avenues for DeJean to hit this target. Look for the rookie to be all over the field. DeJean was a finalist for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and that is no coincidence. He's always present. He's always finds a way to track the ball, follow the ball, and I think this is a pretty safe prop. So feel free to tag along. Let me know what props you like, and let's win some money. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know. Are you on the side of greatness, Mahomes chasing the three-peat? Do you think this well-rounded Philadelphia Eagles team has enough to overcome them? Let me know which team you're taking, what bets you picked, and enjoy the game. See you guys later.